Hey y'all, it's me, Bret.
And I'm Steven.
And this is an episode of Broadway Husbands.
Woo!
We had to check in with you guys and say thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers. I cannot believe it.
What?
And I'm so grateful to all of you for sticking around. This year has been really exciting, changing some of the content and like being really goal setting on like getting Broadway life out there, and we got some really cool content coming your way, so please tell your friends to subscribe, and if you want to be a patron, join Patreon because we could use your help. We're hoping this year, our big goal is to start a family. We want to either adopt or get a surrogate, but while we're creating all this content, we would actually love to vlog the experience, but we're sort of in the process of trying to figure out how to make all that happen. So we'd love your support. If you want to be a patron, click on the Patreon below and follow along.
Yeah.
One question we keep getting from several people, one particular fan, Austin, if you're watching, which I know you are.
Hey, Austin.
Is people want to know how we met. So we just had our 6-year wedding anniversary.
6 years on April 18th.
Which actually marks 10 years to the
of us
first
being together.
time we got together. So I thought I would let Steven take it away and tell you. Do you want to tell them how we met?
So
what's your first memory of meeting me?
Okay, so the first time I remember meeting Bret was the first time we ever met was in Times Square on the subway platform, and it was 2006, and it was like probably August, and he like stopped me on the subway and was like, "Hey, I know you," and I was like, "Yeah, I know you too," and it turned out that we had met through some friends of ours, and he was just being really friendly and nice, and he gave me his card. And
at the time you were dancing for New York City Ballet.
Oh right, and at the time I was with New York City Ballet.
And I was doing Beauty and the Beast on Broadway.
And he was in Beauty and the Beast on Broadway. And so, you know, I remember just thinking he was being really friendly and nice, and I totally he had like his website on the card, and so like I would like look at his website. And I would show my friend Damien all the time. We'd be like, "Oh, look!" I was like, "I think I really like this guy." And I think he's really cute. And like, hopefully, I'll get to see him again sometime. And so that was the first time I ever met him. And then,
did you really say that?
Yeah. And my friend Damien used to call him, because he understudied Lumiere at the time, Beauty and the Beast, and so he would call him, "Oh, the candle. Oh, the candle." Anyways, and then that Christmas, he had a Christmas party, and I went with some friends, and there was a lot of flirting happening, but like from like a far away distance. Like every time I would look at him, he would be looking at me, or I would look at him, and then he would look back. And...
Side note, we were both seeing people.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, so that's why it was like...
We couldn't like...
So far away.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was a lot of flirting happening, and yeah, and there was just a fun Christmas party, and then I think after that night, I was like, yeah, I think I really do like that guy. Anyways, and then
we became friends.
Yeah.
And we would go hang out and see movies, and we had dinner, and we would always complain about the people we were currently dating, and we would just like vent on each other about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's true.
He broke up with his boyfriend, and then like April 18th, the guy.
No. Oh yeah.
It was
yeah.
the night before.
It was the night
April
before.
17th. The guy I was seeing and I broke up.
And then he called me, and he said,
it was really subtle.
He was like, "Hey, so I don't remember who broke up with who. He was like, he and this guy were no longer together," and I was like, "Oh, that's too bad." It was really hard for me to be like, "Oh man." I was like, "Oh, that's okay," you know, just like, he didn't seem too upset, but And then the next night,
I was like, what are you doing?
He's like, yeah, you should come meet me.
Dinner?
And I went and had dinner with him and another friend of ours. And then began our love affair. And, yeah.
But he was dancing in New York City Ballet, and I was sort of like, oh, wow. He's an artist, and he's in the industry, but he's not in the Broadway industry. So I thought that was really cool. Like, ooh, I get to be with somebody who's like in the arts, but like not in the theater. And then
that didn't turn out very well.
The next year, well, then I booked Little Mermaid, and he was hanging out with all the Little Mermaid people as we were starting to date and fall in love. In fact, in Denver, when we did our out of town, was when you came and visited, and I was like, I think I'm in love with you. And he goes, I know.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. I know. That's what you said.
Maybe I did.
And then he booked Billy Elliot on Broadway, and...
Well, it wasn't and then. It was like a year later.
A year later.
It was like much
And it was
further.
the day he did his final performance in New York City Ballet. I threw a surprise party for him. He had no idea. And in front of all of our friends from the ballet and Little Mermaid, I proposed to him.
It's true. So
there was like 100 people.
There were a lot of people. There were probably maybe even more than that. And so the party was supposed to be like my goodbye from City Ballet party, which is totally appropriate. But at the time, like all of the details of me leaving the ballet and doing the show weren't.
You hadn't signed your contract.
Yeah, I hadn't signed my contract yet, and like things weren't really negotiated. And my friend Abby Stafford put all these posters up all over the theater, like ballet to Broadway or something like that. Steven's going to Broadway or something, like goodbye party. And I was like, Abby, what are you doing? She was like, Bret told me to do it. And I was like, no, I mean, this might not even happen yet. It was still like all up in the air. And so that was like my first like,
but
maybe
it did happen.
I mean, it did happen, yeah. But that was my first moment of like, wait, why are we having this party? And then there were a couple people that called me that week who are friends of mine that don't live in New York. They were like, oh my God, we're so sorry we're not gonna be able to be at your performance and be at the party. I don't even think they said performance. I think they said be at the party. And I was like, well, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Like, we talk all the time, and we're gonna see each other in like a month or something like that, or whoever it was. And it turns out because he had.
I told everyone
plan.
I was gonna propose to him.
Yeah, and then at one point before, so then we
right, your
it was
brother.
it was at the Hotel Empire, and the Empire Hotel is it Hotel Empire, Empire Hotel,
Empire Hotel,
whatever, and we get there, and my parents were staying there with my brother, and my brother at one point like took me up to their hotel room and was like, hey, try on this ring. And my brother had his ring, and he like had me try on his ring, and I remember being like, why do you want me to try on your ring? He's like, just put it on, does it fit? Does that fit okay? And I was like, yeah.
Well, we ran into this girl, Jamie Wolf, who does beautiful jewelry, and she danced with him at the ballet, and I kind of met her like in passing.
Yeah, we met one night
and then
together.
I like emailed her and was like, listen, I'm thinking about proposing to Steven. Would you help me design a ring? I have an idea for a ring. And my idea, which she made a reality, was that we would have our birthstones on each side of the ring. So the ring, it's just a wedding band, but then on one side has the emeralds sort of, I don't know if you can see that, has the emeralds sort of ingrained in there, and then the other side has cognac diamonds,
which is in place of topaz, because topaz is my birthstone. But that is like a negotiation that he like did on his own, because at one point in our relationship we talked about engagement rings, and this was like early on. This was like way before this engagement actually happened. That's why I remember being like, wow. He was like, I really want like a stone on my ring, and I was like, no, absolutely not.
So this was the compromise.
So, and he came up with this without coming to me. This is what he presented when he asked me to marry him. But
I think he's saying he doesn't like the Stones.
no, I love these Stones, but I remember I remember we were in a cab. Like, I can remember the conversation. You were like, don't you want like some sort of like diamond or something on it? And I was like, no. Like, no. And so, so then we're at the Hotel Empire. My brother is like being really weird, but he's normally weird anyway. So I'm just kidding. I love it. And, he's like, try this ring on. I'm like, okay. And then we went down to the lobby to go up to the rooftop restaurant or bar or whatever it is. And Bret was like so stressed out. Like, I remember seeing him and he was like freaking out about...
There was a lot.
I don't even remember what maybe
there
like
was catering.
Maybe like getting a check to somebody or something. And I remember just being like...
Card wouldn't go through or something.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I was like, Bret, stop. It's fine. Like, so then we get to the party and it's really fun. And like he said, everybody from Little Mermaid and a ton of people from City Valley were there. And it was a really emotional day for me in general because I didn't know that if it was my last performance at City Valley or not. And so then at one point in the party, Bret's like, excuse me, attention everybody. He's like, ding, 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 ding. And I just like pushed him to the side. I'm like, ugh. Because I thought he just wanted me to like talk and say something.
I was going to say something.
And I was like,
I just
pushed him aside and I was like, all right, thank you everyone for coming. Like, it's so sweet.
And I was like this, like standing behind him like, oh God. Because I was about to propose, and then he interrupted.
And I was like, thank you so much for coming. I remember, I think I said something like this, I'm not a fortune teller, so I don't know if this is my final performance at the theater or not, but either way, I'm excited for this new chapter and excited to see what the future holds. This is what I said, I was like excited to see what the future holds for me. And then he said...
And then I said, speaking of Steven's future, I have a question for you, Steven.
What was the question?
Will you marry me?
No, but you didn't say, will you marry me?
I said, will you, because it wasn't legal yet. So I said, will you... Oh, I made up some word. It was like...
Partner...
Will you...
Life partner...
Civil union, marry me?
Something like that, yeah. And
what did you say?
And I said, yes.
And we both were like
crying. And I just remember being so surprised and so overwhelmed. Because the whole day was like pretty emotional, like I said. And so I was like feeling a lot of things. And then this happened and so many people were there that we loved. And so that's how that happened.
So that's it. And the rest is history.
6 years later,
and now
we're happier than ever.
Now we're ready for a new chapter.
So that's our story.
Thanks for the question, Austin. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to this channel. Leave your comments or questions below if you have any questions you might have. And subscribe to this channel.
Yeah.
We got some cool stuff coming your way. Thanks.
Woo-hoo. Thank you. See you later.